in your foot there, man.
No, it's not in. Actually, it's all good because I just have Uncle in, so it's all good.
How large a group are you having tonight?
Um, it ranges. It's our tennis gang,
Yeah.
so anywhere from 30 something to at one time we ended up we figured out it must have been like 80 people because we just invite everybody. It's like an open party,
Yeah.
and then whoever shows up shows up. It's our tennis gang and stuff like that, and they can invite their friends if they have guests or things. So it ranges. I'd say usually around 50.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
potluck, so I don't have to do anything except clean my house, you know, and we have all the drinks. So it's kind of, it's nice
Yeah.
to get together and just relax. Okay, so Uncle, tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up for you.
Well, we were born and raised in Kaneohe in Haia, actually, not far from where your dad lived, up the hill. Was our address was always P.O. Box 4, Kaneohe, because our road at that time had no address, no street address. And now it's called Yacht Club Street, but at that time, it had no street address. We lived in a small house, probably maybe about less than half the size of this house, I think. Had 3 bedrooms. My parents lived in one, and George and I lived in others, and my girls lived in one room. And we had to walk to school. School was at Ben Parker, which is about a mile and a half away. I started, nowadays we didn't have kindergarten, we just go to first grade.
Oh.
I got started a little early. I started when I was 5 years old. It had something to do with Reverend Goto, who was, who started a Methodist church in Kaneohe. Anyway, there was something. Somehow my mother got talked to him and got me in school early, and so I was a little younger than my peers, and then it got worse in the second grade. I skipped the second grade and went to the third grade.
Oh.
So, but school was never, the problem for me first time. And of course we had Japanese, the Haia Japanese school, which is quite an old school. It was located where the Castle Health professional building is.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, the Haia school was there, and so after Ben Parker, we always went to the Haia Japanese school for an hour, and before we came home. Kaneohe or Haia was a very, very country place at that time. In fact, where we lived, our closest neighbor was probably a block away. When I was in my early days, anyway, we didn't have a bathhouse at our house, so we had to go to a neighbor's house, which is maybe half a block away. We had to go down the muddy road to the Tara Patch and to his house. So that's where we took a bath every night. And some was quite a few years later that my father built a bathhouse in the back of our house. Life was very, 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 I guess, slow moving, as some people would say. My father was a fisherman when I was growing up, before that, he apparently, he had a trucking, he had his own truck and had some, worked as a truck driver and hauled things here and there, but I know nothing of that part.
Mm.
And as far as I'm concerned, he was a fisherman all his life. And then on my mother's side, Grandpa had a large taro farm where Keapuka is now.
Okay, where Cape Puka is was a
Yeah.
taro farm.
Taro farm, where the dam is,
Yeah.
below that, just below that. He had a big farm,
Oh,
probably
wow.
20 acres.
Wow.
And the story is that when he first moved here, just before World War I, he had to dig his own irrigation ditch, from the local stream. Anyway, so the first job I had was usually on Saturdays. We go there to work on the taro patch, mostly mundane things like pulling weeds and patches and stuff like that. And then the first time I got a paying job was in probably 1939, 40. I started working for Honey's, Mrs. Hall. So every afternoon, after Ben Parker, I rushed there and cleaned the front. She had like a tavern mostly, beer hall, and on the weekends she had some Hawaiian food. It was a very popular place, so I cleaned that place up. That was my job, every morning, every afternoon. And then on Saturdays I'd clean the backyard for her. And in fact, it was I was there when on December 7th when the planes, when the Japanese planes attacked. At that time it was called Okihiro Naval Air Station.
Oh, so you saw them flying over when you were working?
Yeah, their planes were flying real low, right over our head, and
Wow.
and I remember that there was a young boy across the street, a Chinese boy, Bertram, Lamb.
Oh.
He was younger than me. Yeah, how the planes flying so low, because they were unusually low right over our heads, and it must be maneuvers, And right after I cleaned the yard, this is 8 o'clock in the morning, I go to Sunday school at the church. But when I got to the church, there was a big commotion there, and no Sunday school. They closed Sunday school, and the Reverend told everybody to go home. And at that time, my father came to the church for the first time because I pick up all the kids in his car.
Take your folks all back.
He had a car that took us home.
How old
Then-
were you at that time?
I was 14,
Oh.
and he and I went, up above the yacht club.
Yeah, Lilipuna Road.
Yeah, above there's up right in the backyard of the neighbors. We went there, we could clearly see all the smoldering ruins at the naval station. By that time it was about, I think it was 9 o'clock or so.
Oh.
Then, of course, that changed everything as far as life was concerned. Japanese, there are a lot of, we had 2 fishing camps here in Kaneohe, and of course, they're all Japanese fishermen.
Mhm.
They could not go in the water anymore.
Oh.
Their boats were confiscated, and my father didn't know where his motor was until after the war. And somehow it was that they had taken over to Don Ho's father's place. Jimmy Ho had it.
Oh.
So he got the motor and bought back, but I don't know how good the motor was after 4 years, dried out.
Mm. So what happened with like you folks continued to go to school while the war was going
Well,
on?
no, school was closed, of course, and they reopened, I think in February or
Yeah, how long was it closed?
oh,
A couple months, eh?
yeah,
Oh.
so February I think it was, or March,
You
before
should
they
call it
opened
a
again.
war vacation.
And meanwhile, during that interval, there was a outfit called USED, United States Engineering Department, that picked up anybody who wanted to work, So they would pick us up in this truck and go do mundane things, like digging trenches and putting up wire fences and stuff like that. And then when the school started again, of course I had to go back to school. I went back to school. But see, I was at that time, I was junior.
In high school.
Junior year. And my peers were, already 16 and older. So a lot of them did not come back to school.
Oh.
They went stay to work. In the class, the seniors, a lot of them,
Enlisted or
volunteered to go to service and stuff like that. Those classes were very small.
so were you at Ben Parker or you were at
I was Ben Parker, yeah. And then, while, I was telling you that, the USED picked us up to do work, and one of the, later on we started going to work during the summer, they were building an air base at Kualoa, Kualoa Ranch.
Oh yeah.
They built an airstrip that went right across the street. You know where the park is?
Yeah.
Right across, and then across the street all to the Kualoa Ranch Park, all the way to the almost to the end where the Kaava starts.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
the airstrip
Wow.
in there. They would have to stop the cars, and stop the traffic when the planes landed or took off. That was an airstrip. So during that summer, that's where we were. But anyway, on these, they truck us over there, and Reverend Goto's son, Johnny Goto, was at that time going to MPI, and he was telling me about, hey, you should come to MPI, go to school at MPI, because there's still, although all sports, ended in OIA school.
Mm-hmm.
So they still had it in
Oh.
ILA school, see. So, well, okay, so I didn't tell my parents, of course, at that time, but that's why I transferred my senior year to
Oh. So you could play baseball.
yeah. So just my senior year, I played ball over there. But the one thing good about, the thing that I am grateful about MPI is the fact that all of a sudden, all the kids in my school, after their senior year, they're going to college.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Ben Parker, nobody went to college. You never heard of. I remember the first. There's a girl, Florence Okamoto. She was in the class of 40. first graduating class, I think, at Ben Parker. And she, from the whole class, only three of them, three girls went to college.
Wow.
The class above me was a war class. So I don't know of anybody
Oh.
that went to college,
Mhm.
by name. Maybe some went later, but,
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I said, well, might as well go to college and join join the rest of the gang. And that's how I
But
went to college.
you went to college. You started here in Hawaii, or did you go
No,
for your
yeah,
first
yeah.
year out to the mainland?
No, at UH.
You started at UH.
Yeah, just during the war, 1943. And then, right after high school, that summer, one of the teachers at MPI, her husband was the personnel manager for the city of Honolulu. So he found jobs for all
Wow.
the MPI kids, and there were two or three of us started working for the Honolulu water supply, oilmen. Oilmen, the city at that time had three pumps, big large pumps, one at downtown, the big one where the office is,
Mhm.
and one in Kalihi and one in Carnegie.
Oh.
So I started working there that summer, and when school started, we started working night shift, so I would work at night, And it was really easy work because, and especially winter time, there's plenty of water, rainwater. So the wells would fill up quick, I guess, and we'd work the pumps maybe till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and the rest of the time you'd get, find one place and sack out. Sleep.
Oh, so then, okay, because you were going to school during the day,
Yeah.
and then you'd work all night.
So that worked out real well, and then my sophomore year, I found a similar job with a POW camp. There was an Italian POW camp at, Coral Garden Road,
Yeah.
where Uncle Sam lives.
Right.
Just in that place, just on the right side, before you get to his
Yeah.
house, on the right side. It was a big POW camp.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they had that in Kaneohe.
Yeah, so my sophomore year, Kaoru Sasaki and I worked there. We worked, they had like not a sewer plant, something like a sewer plant. He worked there and he and I worked there at night from 12 to 7. As soon as 7 o'clock our shift is over, we take off in that car and go to the UH.
And he was a doctor also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor in
Uh-huh, right.
And at that time, you could, parking was never a problem at UH. Because UH is very small at that time.
So you finished up at UH, your bachelor's?
Yeah, well, I finished 2 years, and then I became 18, and I was drafted in what would have been the start of my junior year.
Oh.
I was drafted. The war was still going on, but ended a few days later.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how is it you ended up becoming a neurologist and even going to med school? Is that something you had always wanted to do, or?
Yeah, I wanted to go to med school for a long time. And but when I came back from the Army, I was a junior, right? I was a junior. And at that time, there were a few schools that opened med school for kids who had finished only 3 years of undergraduate work.
Oh.
So as soon as I came back, he said, "Oh, you gotta I made applications, and I took the MCAT.
Mm-hmm.
No preparation at all. And those days we never had any advisors, never had any advisors. So anyway, I took that, and I didn't get any. I got in as an alternate at Tulane. And then and then I was working at. The summer I came back, I found a job at St. Francis Hospital. I was working in the lab, and at that time you could become a registered med tech after 1 year of work.
Oh.
So my senior year, I had 1 year of work, and so you took a national exam and become registered. That's so I became a med tech, and I lived at St. Francis for 2 years.
Wow.
2 years or more. A little more than 2 years ago. Ran took all the lab calls at night, weekend. And anyway, by the time I graduated from UH, I graduated from UH in 49. But I couldn't get med school, at that time I didn't use any of my GI. I had GI Bill, I didn't use it because I was going to med school. But then then after I graduated, Dr. Bushnell was the head of bacteriology, professor of bacteriology. So go to University of Michigan. They got the best bacteriology school in the nation. So, okay. So I packed my bags and went to Michigan. Well, on the way to Michigan, I stopped at Washington University because that was the only school that had me as an alternate,
Washington University in St. Louis?
Yeah. So I stopped in, knocked on the door of the dean, and he looked at it and said, he told me, when did you take that MCAT? Oh, right after I got out of the Army back in 47. He said, well, take it over again. And by that time, med school was, I was in graduate school, so I said, okay. So as soon as I got to Michigan, I took it, and I just applied to 3 schools because you could have 3 free transcripts, Otherwise, you got to pay $10 or
Yeah.
$15 or something. And lo and behold, I got accepted on 3 schools, see?
Wow.
And I was there in Michigan, so I just stayed there.
Oh. So how old were you when you started?
Well, by that time I was 22 already.
22.
20, no, I was 20, 51, 20, 24. Yeah, I was in the Army 2 years. I was in graduate school, wasted a year, so I was, I was just about the age of my peers.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I got. And med school, was the first year was tough. I studied hard, but after the first year, I knew was something else. So I got a job. I lived the next 3 years in a hospital. I worked at a hospital.
While you were going to school. And then, what made you decide to go into neurology?
Well, a couple of things. One is we had the best teacher at med school was Dr. Crosby, Elizabeth Crosby, neuroanatomy teacher. She was such an excellent teacher. She'd tell us before midterm, she said, okay, tonight, from 6 to 8 o'clock, I'm going to have a review session, and you don't have to come, but any of you want to come, we're going to have a review session. This is the night before the exam. So everybody will go to the review session and the next day, to give the exam. And we had a large class, 200,
Wow.
225 students, freshmen.
Wow.
So, everybody would come there. And anyway, she got everybody interested in neurology.
So
So I
that's
went into, after, I went into internal medicine first.
Oh, okay.
So when I went to the Mayo Clinic, I was in medicine for a year and a half before I switched to neurology, mainly because, well, it was an up-and-coming field, and they had some excellent teachers over there. And terrific staff doctors, you could easily get to like. So I switched over. So I prolonged my stay over there at the Mayo Clinic.
So when you finished up there, is that when you came back to Hawaii to practice?
Yeah.
And were there any other neurologists in Hawaii at that time? Or were you,
No,
you were the
only
only one?
the
First.
first one.
First one, yeah?
I think there was one at Tripler.
And then not only that, but you were like nationally known and respected, right? And where people would come and consult on things, that's what I heard.
Probably. Well, see, when I came back, I was, I was going to start practice on my own, but I had to, find an office space. I couldn't find one. I mean, I couldn't get one because nobody would loan me money. And just that first month, I came back in July, and then Straub Clinic they only had about 40 doctors at that time. That was the biggest clinic, And one of the guys he was an internist, but he took a year to learn some neurology, but didn't feel like, he knew enough, and he had heard about me because there were a couple of Mayo doctors at Straub. So I guess they called back to their friends at Mayo and asked about me, and they asked me if I wanted to join them. And it took a while, because at that time I was strictly Howley Clinic.
Yeah.
The Howley Clinic. So I talked to several doctors, including a guy who was a friend of mine who was the president at one time of Honolulu Medical Society. And he said, yeah, go over there and go to find this, see what the clinic is about, and maybe you can start something.
So you're the first Asian at
Yeah.
Straub Clinic also.
Yeah. And then after a few years, they started adding.
Oh yeah.
Started adding, in fact, a lot.
There were several places that were strictly Howleys.
And that was what, early 60s or late 50s?
We came back in 61.
61.
Like the Pacific Club.
Yes, yeah. Which stayed that way for some time. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, if you were to talk, because how you went to school, very, very different from how the kids now go to school. The way you worked and went to school, not all of the kids have to do that anymore. But if you were to say something to the maybe second generation, your grandkids or their generation, what kinds of things would you tell them to, focus on, or what's important?
Well, I think, you tell everybody to study hard and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
That goes beyond anybody saying, but I think if you work hard and, you got to take a chance. Don't be afraid to take a chance and
Mm.
try new things. That's very important. And you can't. Don't be afraid to work. Work hard. Yeah.
Oh, Michelle said Nellie got into a sophomore,
Good.
so it's,
Yeah. By my days, we didn't have. I went to school because I went to medical school on the GI Bill.
On the GI Bill.
Yeah, it supported me with all the tuition and.
Yeah, I was wondering, because like I said,
Yeah.
to go to med school, it's not like you came from a wealthy family, or,
And,
there were a lot of scholarships like there aren't available now.
but they also gave us, I forgot, $75 a month or something,
Mhm.
But that's not, you gotta squeeze your money, So when I found out work, after my first year, when I found work at this hospital outside of Ann Arbor, then I could relax as well.
Oh.
I've been lucky with all this fine work to, so I think after my first year at MPI, I don't think my parents had to help me at all.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah.
Because like I said, very unusual. They had 5 children, and all 5 of you folks went to college. So, but I know Dad said similarly, he went through the ROTC program, yeah? So
Yeah.
that to pay for his school. So,
yeah, and it was a one-shot thing.